Tomorrow night is going to be the second presidential debate, the third in the series. The first with the president and then the governor. The second with trying to think of some cute. I'm not gonna cute it. The second with Vice President and Congressman Ryan. Vice President Biden tomorrow is going to be the president and the governor again. And Senator Dick Durbin from Illinois, United States Senator from Illinois, Senate Majority Whip, BarackObama.com, of course, the website for the Obama campaign, is on the line with us. Senator Durbin, welcome back to the program.
It's good to be with you, Tom. How are things going?
Very, very well, thank you, and I hope they are going well for you. I'm curious your thoughts on the real Mitt Romney. I'm still trying to, this guy is changing his position more frequently than a yoga instructor.
Well, I tell you, I was in Cleveland Saturday night campaigning for Sherrod Brown and the president, and they told me it was the home of Etch-a-Sketch.
Yes,
but
it is.
Unfortunately, the company has closed down. They've moved, I guess, overseas. And it just reminded me of that moment in the campaign when one of Romney's advisors said, when the primaries are over, we're going to lift the page like Etch-a-Sketch. Oh, there was this big sharp denial and all the rest of it. But if you watch that first debate, that's about what happened.
Right.
I mean, when the president said $5 trillion tax cut, and Romney was shocked like he'd never heard the term before.
Right.
And the fact is, he not only heard it, but he made it up as part of his campaign. I was kind of surprised. He's trying to race to the middle, be moderate, look a little bit different than he did during the course of the Republican primaries.
Well, it has apparently worked for him his whole life. I mean, being a salesman, particularly in the securities business, we don't see the very best track record. I'm sure you're familiar with the hearings where Senator Levin was dropping obscenities, quoting from the emails of the various securities traders. I mean, the industry that Mitt Romney came out of is an industry in which you basically say anything to make the sale or to get the company, and his political history is the same too. He has been on every side of every issue. How did the Democratic Party, how does the president, how does a debater, how does anybody deal with somebody who is a serial liar's not even the right word? It's like, he has no internal compass as far as I can tell.
Tom, I can remember as sure as I'm sitting here at this moment, a conversation I had with Ted Kennedy before he passed away. In fact, many years before he passed away. He said that as whip, I had to try to arrange the votes in the Senate so he could leave and be up in Boston. He had to be there with Governor Romney to sign the health care bill in Massachusetts. He had helped him. He'd worked on it. And all
Romney care.
Yeah, Romney did. And Kennedy wanted to be there with him, and he was with him on the signing of the bill. And I think about that every time I watch Romney deny that he had anything to do with it or that he embraces the basic principles of it.
Right.
And I just wonder, how do you do that? How can you make such a dramatic change on some things that are very fundamental, like health care and education and basically the tax program that he pushed for as conservative Republican? I think America's voters have the right to ask these hard questions. The president, I think, was a little reserved in his approach to the first debate.
Just a little?
Tomorrow night's a lot different.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that tomorrow night's a lot different. I thought Joe Biden did a great job of taking names and kicking butt. And
hey, Tom, you know what the giveaway was on that one?
What's
that? The Romney-Ryan campaign called Martha Raddatz ahead of time and asked her, would they please refer to him as Mr. Ryan, not Congressman Ryan? That tells the whole story. He does not want to be associated with the John Boehner Tea Party Republicans. He knows what a negative that is.
Right.
And Martha Raddatz, and good for her, said no. He's a congressman. I'll refer to Joe Biden as vice president. And that's what she did during the course of the debate. But it just shows you how they're trying to reinvent themselves during the course of these closing days.
And it seems to me that this is, I've been watching politics for a long time. I'm, at the risk of revealing my age here, when I was 14 years old, or 13 years old, 1964, I went door to door for Barry Goldwater with my dad. 3 years later, I was, getting arrested in East Lansing in an SDS anti-war demonstration. So my politics have changed a lot since the 64 election. But they've stayed consistent since '68. I'll add, but I don't, in my political life. And I remember Eisenhower. I mean, I was a little kid, but my dad was a very, very active local Republican, fellow, and in fact died a Republican. I mean, we debated politics his whole life. I don't recall any campaign in my lifetime, which is over half a century, that has involved a candidate who has changed positions so nakedly, so with such facility, with a smile on his face, without even acting embarrassed. I mean, even Richard Nixon, if he did something like this, would show some embarrassment. Am I exaggerating this, Senator Durbin?
No, I don't think you are. And Nixon's a good illustration. You and I'm a little older than you are, but Richard Nixon and his involvement in the Vietnam War and the like, notwithstanding, when it came to domestic policies, Nixon was a very moderate Republican.
Yeah.
I mean, you look back on creation of the EPA under his watch, federal revenue sharing under his watch, things that occurred that were considered to be responsible policies. Even Ronald Reagan, for goodness sakes, was the author of and proud of the Earned Income Tax Credit to help working families get by. Where is this Republican Party today? When I saw Lincoln Chafee, the governor from the state of Rhode Island, come and speak to us at the convention, Democratic convention, he basically said, this is not the Republican Party that I grew up in. Grew up, of course, son of John Chafee, one of the more outstanding senators I've had the honor to serve with. This Republican Party made such a sharp right turn, and let me tell you, in the front seat, cheering him on all the way, was Mitt Romney. Now he's trying to tell us, take it all back. Don't really mean it. I think that's a hard sell. Yeah.
Have you ever been in a debate? I'm sorry, we're out of time. The damn machine starts, and I have no control over it. Senator Dick Durbin, BarackObama.com, of course, the Obama website, U.S. Senator from Illinois and Senate Majority Whip. Senator, it's always an honor and a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you for dropping by.
Thanks, Tom. Talk to you later.
Good talking with you. We will be right back. 27 minutes past the hour here on the Thom Hartmann Program. Stick around.